So talk a little bit about the partnership you have with Shige. You said he had no background in running, but can you talk a little bit about how he developed some background in running in order to enable you or to help you pursue your professional career?
Yeah. And his story is even more interesting than mine, diplomat to marathon runner. His is salaryman to coach. He even said that watching the 10,000 meters was about the most boring sporting experience he'd had when we met. But I think it started, I talked to him about my previous running and that I wanted to go into it seriously again, and I'm not quite sure I made myself sort of clear enough what this would involve, but I started training, and for me at that point, training, I was really very focused on training and not paying enough attention to all the other things like rest, injury prevention, strength and conditioning, the mental side of it. And he looked at me doing my training, doing my running, and said, hang on a minute, you know, you're doing this training, but is it the right training for the marathon? And what about all these other things, you know, nutrition, rest, conditioning and so on? You're not doing anything or enough of this. Let's try and have a more holistic approach. And I'm a very details person, whereas he's a big picture person. So he spotted this, and he was absolutely right. And as soon as I started to work more on those things, then I was improving. And then because Japan has such a big background in marathon running, he started reading about coaching for the marathon, books by people like Koide, Coach Koide, who coached Takahashi Naoko to the gold medal in Sydney. And so there's a lot of knowledge out there in the Japanese running community. So he started reading about that and reading about nutrition and so on. And so he's completely self-taught. And not only does he do the coaching side of things, but he does all the practical things now. Like he does massage every day. He does all the cooking and shopping in our household. He's my agent, so whenever I go to a race, he will contact the race and negotiate with them. All the organising for our training camps, the flights, accommodation, everything. Carrying 100 kilos around the world when volcanoes in Iceland go up, that sort of thing. So he does all those things so that I can just concentrate on training and rest. And there's no way I could do what I'm doing now without his help in that way, because rest is really critical when you're training hard. And if you've got all manner of things to do, book flights, ring up somebody about a race, it's the rest time that goes, and you just won't be able to train effectively if that happens. So I'm very lucky to be in this position.